Hollywood is whispering again. Not the kind of noise that fades in a few hours, not a headline built on empty speculation. This time, the names Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner are moving through the industry with weight. Before you scroll away, do one thing right now: like this, leave a comment, and follow, because what's unfolding explains exactly why Hollywood can't stop talking about them, and why the story is bigger than it looks. In the past few days, searches for Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner have surged. Social media timelines are saturated, entertainment desks are circling back to the same question, and insiders are paying closer attention than ever. This didn't start with a dramatic announcement or a loud public display. It began quietly, almost invisibly. A brief moment caught on camera. A subtle interaction. And suddenly, the entire narrative shifted. Timothée Chalamet, long positioned as the introspective, critically respected actor with a carefully guarded private life, appears different now. More grounded. More assured. Less reactive to the noise around him. At the same time, Kylie Jenner, one of the most influential figures in modern pop culture, a business powerhouse whose every move is usually calculated for maximum exposure, has done something unexpected. She stepped back from controlling the spotlight and allowed the story to breathe. That contrast alone is enough to make Hollywood lean in. Sources close to the entertainment industry suggest that this is no longer a casual chapter. The dynamic between Timothée and Kylie is evolving, and with it, the way they're being perceived. This is no longer just another celebrity relationship. It's becoming a convergence of two worlds that rarely overlap so seamlessly: high art cinema credibility and global digital influence. Hollywood doesn't just notice moments like this, it studies them. What's fueling the tension is not what they're saying, but what they're not saying. No public declarations. No forced narratives. Instead, a series of small, deliberate choices. Appearances that feel intentional. Absences that speak just as loudly. Every detail feels controlled, but not performative. And that's precisely what's keeping audiences hooked. Midway through this unfolding story, something changed. Observers noticed a pattern. Shared circles becoming more intertwined. Support showing up at moments that matter most. Whispers of future projects, collaborations, or long-term alignment began to surface, not as confirmed facts, but as signals. The kind of signals that make people stop scrolling and start paying attention. This is where curiosity deepens. Because when two figures this powerful move quietly, it's rarely accidental. Timothée Chalamet's career is at a critical peak, with award recognition and prestige roles shaping his legacy. Kylie Jenner, meanwhile, has reached a stage where visibility alone is no longer the goal, control of narrative is. Together, they represent something new. A recalibration of what influence looks like in modern Hollywood. Then came the moment that shifted the tone entirely. Not a scandal. Not controversy. Just a calm, almost understated presence that felt permanent. The reaction was immediate. Fans split into camps. Supporters grew louder. Skeptics grew more curious. And the media realized this wasn't a temporary headline, it was a developing storyline. Hollywood thrives on chaos, but it survives on intrigue. And this relationship is pure intrigue. Every camera angle feels tighter now. Every appearance feels heavier. The tempo of the story changes, drawing viewers in, holding them longer, making them wait for something definitive. This is how attention is sustained, not through shock, but through restraint. The payoff, however, is starting to emerge. Not as a reveal, but as consistency. A steady alignment that suggests intention rather than impulse. For the first time, many industry watchers agree, Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner are no longer reacting to public opinion. They're shaping it. And that's why Hollywood is talking again. Because this isn't just about romance. It's about image evolution. About power dynamics in pop culture. About what happens when two carefully constructed public personas begin to merge without explanation. The silence is strategic. The pacing is deliberate. And the audience is exactly where they want it, watching, waiting, speculating. Before this story moves into its next phase, and it will, remember this moment. The moment when the noise softened, the tension built, and the real narrative began to take shape. If you want to stay ahead of what happens next, don't disappear now. Like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and follow for updates. Hollywood is still watching Timothee and Kylie closely, and this story is far from over. And as the conversation grows louder, the industry reaction becomes impossible to ignore. Executives, publicists, and brand strategists are quietly recalibrating how they read this relationship. Because when Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner move, the ripple effect travels far beyond tabloids. It reaches casting rooms, fashion houses, award campaigns, and global marketing strategies. This is no longer about curiosity, it's about impact. Insiders describe a noticeable shift in how Timothee is being positioned publicly. Once framed almost exclusively as the indie darling turned prestige leading man, he is now being discussed as a cultural bridge. Someone who can exist simultaneously in the world of high cinema and mass visibility without losing credibility. That kind of positioning is rare, and Hollywood knows it. Kylie's presence in his orbit amplifies reach, but it also introduces risk, unless managed with extreme precision. So far, that precision is exactly what's being displayed. Meanwhile, Kylie Jenner's evolution is just as striking. For years, her name has been synonymous with constant exposure, relentless visibility, and headline dominance. But recently, her strategy appears refined. Fewer statements. Less explanation. More control through absence. In media terms, this is a power move. When someone who once dominated every cycle chooses restraint, the silence becomes the headline. And with Timothee by her side, that silence feels intentional rather than evasive. What keeps fueling public fascination is the lack of a definitive label. No official timeline. No clear declaration. Just enough access to confirm the connection, and just enough distance to maintain mystery. This tension is not accidental. It mirrors the way modern audiences consume stories: slow reveals, layered meaning, and emotional payoff delayed just long enough to keep attention locked in. Entertainment analysts have begun calling this one of the most carefully managed narratives in recent celebrity history. Not because it feels manufactured, but because it feels selective. Every appearance is measured. Every non-appearance feels deliberate. The pacing is cinematic. Slow build, rising tension, controlled release. Hollywood recognizes this language instantly. And then there's the question everyone keeps circling but no one can fully answer yet: what comes next? Is this leading toward a long-term public alignment? A deeper integration of worlds, fashion, film, business, and influence? Or is this simply a moment, perfectly executed, destined to reshape perception before quietly transitioning into something else? The uncertainty is exactly what sustains the conversation. At the center of it all is timing. Timothee stands at a pivotal point in his career, where every decision contributes to legacy. Kylie, equally, is navigating a phase where expansion matters more than exposure. Their paths intersect at a moment when both have more to lose, and more to gain, than ever before. That shared risk changes the tone entirely. The media response reflects this shift. Coverage has become more analytical, less sensational. Headlines are asking why instead of what. Articles focus on implications, not just appearances. This is the signal that a story has matured. When commentary moves from gossip to interpretation, the narrative has crossed into cultural relevance. And yet, for all the analysis, one thing remains consistent: neither Timothee nor Kylie is rushing to clarify anything. No attempt to control fan theories. No effort to correct assumptions. In a world where celebrities often over-explain, this restraint stands out. It invites speculation without feeding it directly. It keeps the spotlight warm without letting it burn too hot. This is where the payoff begins to feel real. Not as a single dramatic moment, but as a realization. The realization that this story isn't unfolding for shock value. It's unfolding for endurance. It's designed to last longer than a viral clip, longer than a trending week. And that's why Hollywood is paying attention, because longevity is the rarest currency in entertainment. As audiences, we're witnessing something subtle but significant. A recalibration of celebrity storytelling. A reminder that intrigue doesn't require excess, and influence doesn't require noise. Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner are not just being watched, they are being studied. And the conversation isn't slowing down. If anything, it's tightening. The camera is closer. The pauses are longer. The next move feels imminent, even if no one knows exactly what it will be. That's why this matters now. Because stories like this don't announce their turning points. They reveal them quietly, in hindsight. And when that moment arrives, the narrative will shift again, faster, sharper, louder. So stay with it. Stay engaged. Because Hollywood isn't done talking about Timothee and Kylie. And whatever comes next will redefine how the story is remembered. And now, the conversation is entering its most critical phase. Because when a story refuses to resolve itself, pressure builds, not just from the audience, but from the system that feeds on attention. Studios notice. Luxury brands notice. Streaming platforms notice. The silence around Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner is no longer empty space, it's charged space. And charged space always attracts speculation. Behind closed doors, sources describe a subtle recalculation happening across Hollywood. Casting conversations now include a new variable. Brand partnerships are being reassessed through a different lens. Even red carpet dynamics feel altered, as if everyone is waiting to see which direction this narrative commits to. This is what happens when a relationship stops being personal and starts becoming cultural currency. What makes this moment especially compelling is that neither side appears to be exploiting it. There is no aggressive monetization. No obvious synergy push. No coordinated media blitz. That absence is precisely what gives the story credibility. In an era where visibility is often forced, restraint reads as confidence. And confidence changes perception faster than publicity ever could. Observers have pointed out that Timothee's recent public demeanor carries a different weight. His presence feels steadier, less performative, more anchored. Interviews are tighter. Responses are measured. There's an undertone of someone who knows exactly where he stands, even if the audience doesn't. That kind of composure doesn't come from chaos, it comes from clarity. Kylie, on the other hand, appears to be navigating a deliberate transition. Less spectacle. More precision. Her appearances feel curated not for dominance, but for alignment. She's no longer chasing the narrative, she's shaping the environment around it. And when someone with her level of influence stops pushing, the vacuum becomes irresistible. This is where the tension sharpens. Because the longer the story stretches without resolution, the more viewers project their own conclusions. Is this a long-term partnership evolving in real time? Is it a strategic convergence that will eventually step into the light? Or is it something even quieter, two people choosing stability over spectacle, regardless of outside noise? The media cycle keeps testing the boundaries, searching for cracks. Yet every attempt to provoke a reaction is met with the same response: nothing. No denial. No confirmation. Just continuity. And continuity is powerful. It trains the audience to accept the relationship as a constant rather than a headline. At this stage, the story has crossed a threshold. It no longer needs new information to survive. It feeds on anticipation alone. Each passing week without disruption reinforces the idea that this isn't fleeting. That realization is the real payoff, the moment when speculation transforms into assumption. Hollywood understands this pattern well. The most enduring narratives aren't built on declarations, they're built on time. And time is exactly what Timothee and Kylie are allowing this story to accumulate. Slowly. Intentionally. Without apology. What happens next doesn't need to be dramatic to be decisive. A single shared appearance at the right moment. A quiet confirmation through consistency. Or perhaps nothing at all, just more of the same, until the extraordinary becomes normal. Any of these outcomes would signal the same truth: the narrative has settled. And when a story settles, its influence deepens. It stops chasing attention and starts commanding it. That's the shift we're watching now. Not a spike, but a curve. Not noise, but gravity. So when people ask why Hollywood is talking about Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner again, the answer isn't hidden in one photo or one moment. It's embedded in the structure of the story itself. A story built on restraint, timing, and the confidence to let curiosity do the work. This is no longer about what they reveal. It's about what they don't need to. And that's exactly why the conversation isn't ending anytime soon. As the narrative continues to stretch forward, something even more interesting is happening beneath the surface. Public fatigue hasn't set in. Engagement hasn't dropped. Instead, attention has stabilized. And in the world of entertainment media, that is far more valuable than a temporary spike. It means the audience has accepted this story as ongoing, not optional. People aren't just clicking anymore, they're tracking. Hollywood reporters describe this phase as the lock-in moment. It's when a storyline no longer needs constant updates to remain relevant. The names alone are enough. Timothée Chalamet, Kylie Jenner. Mentioned together, they trigger instant recognition, instant curiosity, instant conversation. That kind of cultural shorthand doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen quickly. What's striking is how controlled the emotional tone has become. Early reactions were polarized, excitement on one side, skepticism on the other. But now, the discourse feels calmer, more analytical. Fans aren't asking if it's real anymore. They're asking what it means. That shift marks a deeper level of acceptance, and with it, a deeper level of investment. Industry veterans note that this is often the stage where narratives either collapse under pressure or quietly solidify into something permanent. The difference lies in consistency. And consistency is exactly what's being delivered. No contradictions. No sudden reversals. No public missteps. Just a steady alignment that feels increasingly intentional. At the same time, the broader cultural context is amplifying everything. Hollywood is in a period of transition. Audiences are more skeptical of manufactured images, more sensitive to authenticity, more drawn to stories that feel unforced. Against that backdrop, the restrained approach taken by Timothee and Kylie doesn't just work, it resonates. It aligns with the mood of the moment. This is why brands are watching closely. Luxury houses, in particular, understand the power of dual symbolism. Timothee represents artistry, credibility, and critical respect. Kylie represents scale, reach, and commercial precision. Together, they form a narrative bridge that few pairings can replicate. Even without official collaborations, the implication alone carries weight. Yet despite all of this, there is still no attempt to define the relationship publicly. And that refusal to define it has become part of its strength. It leaves room for evolution. It avoids locking the story into a single interpretation. In media terms, it keeps the arc flexible, capable of adapting without breaking. The longer this continues, the more the story detaches from speculation and anchors itself in perception. People begin to speak about it in the past tense, as if its significance is already established. That's when a narrative truly wins. When it no longer needs to prove itself. There's also a psychological layer at play. Audiences feel respected when they're not spoon-fed conclusions. By withholding explanations, Timothee and Kylie invite viewers to participate rather than consume passively. That participation, through discussion, debate, and interpretation, is what sustains long-term interest. And still, no climax has been forced. No grand reveal has been staged. The tension remains unresolved, but not frustrating. Instead, it feels deliberate, almost confident. As if the story knows it has time. Hollywood understands this kind of patience. It's rare, but when it appears, it's powerful. Because patience signals control. And control signals longevity. So as the days pass and the headlines continue to circle back, one thing becomes increasingly clear: this isn't a story waiting to end. It's a story settling into place. Becoming part of the landscape rather than a disruption within it. And that may be the most compelling development of all. Because when a narrative reaches this stage, the question is no longer what happens next. The question becomes, how long will this shape the conversation? Right now, the answer appears to be much longer than anyone expected. And as the storyline stretches further into public consciousness, the silence surrounding it begins to feel louder than any confirmation ever could. The absence of clarity has transformed into a form of narrative dominance. In a media ecosystem addicted to instant answers, withholding them becomes a statement of power. And power, when exercised subtly, reshapes the rules of attention. What's happening now is a slow reframing of identity. Timothée Chalamet is no longer viewed solely through the lens of his filmography. Kylie Jenner is no longer reduced to metrics of social reach or business valuation. Together, they are being discussed as a cultural pairing that reflects a shift in how influence is built and maintained. Less spectacle. More gravity. This gravity is evident in the way conversations linger. Articles aren't just reporting events, they're revisiting them, dissecting earlier moments with new context. Fans are rewatching clips, rereading interviews, searching for signals that may have been overlooked. When a story encourages retrospection, it has already embedded itself deeply. And still, nothing breaks the surface. No leak disrupts the flow. No quote reframes the narrative. This level of discipline is rare, especially at this scale. It suggests alignment, not just between two people, but between their teams, their timing, and their long-term outlook. Hollywood recognizes alignment when it sees it, and it responds accordingly. There's a reason the industry is paying attention now more than ever. This story has survived the most dangerous phase of celebrity coverage, the overexposure window. It didn't burn out. It didn't implode. It simply slowed down, tightened its focus, and matured. That survival alone signals durability. At this point, the relationship, whatever form it ultimately takes, has already achieved something most public narratives never do. It has rewritten expectation. Instead of asking for validation, it has demanded patience. Instead of feeding the cycle, it has bent it. And audiences have followed. The tension no longer comes from uncertainty alone. It comes from inevitability. A sense that something is solidifying, whether acknowledged or not. That feeling keeps viewers engaged, keeps headlines cautious, keeps speculation alive without becoming chaotic. And perhaps that's the most revealing detail of all. The story doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel reactive. It feels settled into its own rhythm, moving at a pace that ignores external pressure. That confidence is unmistakable. So as Hollywood continues to talk, quietly, persistently, it becomes clear that this isn't about a moment that needs to be explained. It's about a presence that has already been established. And until something truly changes, the conversation will continue exactly like this, focused, restrained, and impossible to ignore. And now the discussion has reached a point where even the most cautious observers admit something fundamental has shifted. This is no longer a story that exists on the edges of celebrity news. It has moved into the core of Hollywood's cultural conversation. Quietly, without announcement, it has become a reference point, a case study in how modern fame, influence, and personal narrative intersect. What keeps this story alive is not revelation, but rhythm. The pace is steady, controlled, almost calculated. There are no spikes of chaos, no emotional whiplash. Instead, there is continuity. And continuity, in the attention economy, is everything. It signals stability. It signals intention. It signals that whatever is unfolding is not fragile. Media analysts have started to note how coverage around Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner has subtly changed language. Words like rumored and speculated are used less frequently. They are being replaced by phrases like ongoing, established, and consistent. This linguistic shift matters. It reflects a deeper acceptance, not confirmation, but normalization. The story is no longer questioned at its core. Hollywood insiders describe this as the moment when a narrative stops needing proof. When repetition alone is enough to solidify belief. Appearances don't need explanation. Absences don't need defense. The audience fills in the gaps automatically. That's when control quietly transfers from public opinion back to the subjects themselves. And yet, what makes this particularly compelling is that neither Timothee nor Kylie appears interested in capitalizing on that control overtly. There is no attempt to dominate the cycle. No urgency to define the moment. This refusal to rush gives the story a rare sense of authenticity, even within a highly managed environment. Culturally, this pairing has come to symbolize a broader transition. The merging of prestige and mass appeal. The erosion of rigid celebrity categories. The idea that influence no longer has to choose between credibility and scale, it can exist in both at once. Timothee represents artistic legitimacy shaped by restraint. Kylie represents expansive reach refined by experience. Together, they reflect a new equilibrium. The longer this equilibrium holds, the more powerful it becomes. Not louder, stronger. It reshapes expectations of how public figures move through attention without being consumed by it. It offers a counter-narrative to the burnout model of fame, where constant exposure is mistaken for relevance. Even fans who were once skeptical have shifted tone. The conversation feels less reactive, more observant. People are no longer waiting for a twist, they're watching for evolution. That subtle change marks maturity, both in the audience and in the story itself. And still, no climax has been forced. The tension remains unresolved, but not incomplete. It feels suspended by choice, not uncertainty. As if the story understands that resolution, when it comes, will matter precisely because it wasn't rushed. Hollywood thrives on spectacle, but it survives on stories that endure. And endurance is what this narrative has achieved. Without statements. Without spectacle. Without explanation. That is why the conversation hasn't faded. And that is why it won't anytime soon.